who graduate from drug court, it begins a new chapter of their lives. Jennifer Stagg joins us with part 4 of our special series on drug court. Jen?
Jen and Amanda, all week we've shown you different aspects of felony drug court, from inside the courtroom to inside the defendant's homes during random searches. But tonight we're showing you what everyone involved calls the most important day, graduation.
Great to have you here. Wonderful to see all of you. Hope you're as excited about this graduation as I am.
It's a day they've waited years for.
I never thought I'd see myself up here.
A graduation, not from school, but from a program that did more than give them an education.
16 months ago, all I cared about was getting high.
It gave them their lives back.
It's a battle, and it's an important battle to win. And I know what we're winning, and not just for them, but for their children, for their spouses, for their mothers and fathers.
Drug court for me has been like a roller coaster, full of ups and downs.
Russ Hales was addicted to heroin. Thanks to drug court, he is now clean and moving on with his life.
Recovery isn't something you can be forced into. You have to truly want it for yourself. It's something it took me a long time to realize.
I feel like I'm a better person today because of the things I've been through. You know, a lot stronger for sure.
Jennifer Richens.
Jennifer Richens is also graduating after overcoming her addiction to prescription painkillers.
It's made me realize that I'm okay and I'm worth it.
At some point, really, it changes from us forcing them to want to do this to them embracing it and doing it.
I just wanted to thank drug court staff, Judge Skanky.
From the moment they are admitted into drug court,
We pretty much heard it all here.
the judge and staff make it clear that it's no walk in the park.
You need to speak the truth.
They undergo random drug testing, submit to home searches, agree to follow all of the judge's orders, and attend counseling sessions. But if they put in the work, the program will work for them.
These people want to be like we want them to be. They want to be successful contributors to society with people who love them and are proud of them. And we get the opportunity to help them be that.
When you see people change their life, it's pretty amazing.
Graduation is the day when everyone's hard work pays off. After the defendants speak, their families get a chance to express their gratitude.
Our prayers are answered through this program.
I love you, Russell, and I'm proud of you today.
This is just the road to the rest of your life.
It's a battle they fought and won together, the defendants, their families, and the drug court staff. Because this always was about more than enforcing the law. It's about changing lives.
Your Honorable Judge Skanky, you helped me find the confidence in myself and the voice to remind myself that I deserve to be happy. There's more to us than our mistakes that we have made.
The graduation rate for drug court, 75%. And once they graduate, it reduces their charges usually from a felony to a misdemeanor. Tomorrow is our final report on drug court, and we're showing you a different court, family drug court. That's tomorrow night on KSL 5 News at 6:30. We look forward to that. Thank you. Up next, the new American family.
Welcome, everyone, to the Mojave County Commencement Ceremony, the drug court commencement ceremony. Just so everybody knows, this is being streamed live on YouTube. So if you want to go back later tonight and watch this back on YouTube, you can do so. I'm not saying this to make anybody more nervous who has to come up here and speak a little bit later this morning, but this will be live on YouTube as we speak. This is a commencement ceremony, again, for the Mojave County Drug Court. We are no longer calling it graduation, although I think the slide said graduation. The reason for that is graduation symbolizes an ending, commencement symbolizes a beginning. So this is really a beginning for the drug court participants who have completed this program. Now, I can't figure out what sort of term I could call the graduates other than graduates. I guess I could call them the commencement E's or something similar to that, but that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So we're probably going to call everybody graduates, but the ceremony is in fact a commencement ceremony. I thank everybody for being here. This is a really good turnout, so I appreciate everybody coming here today and celebrating the commencement of the drug court participants. And we have very special guests here today that I'd like to introduce, and these are all really strong supporters of the drug court program. We have the county attorney from Mojave County, Matthew Smith. We have Kellen Marlowe from the Mojave County Attorney's Office. He's a magnet prosecutor, which means he's a drug prosecutor, and he's now part of the Kingman drug court staff team. And so although he's a drug court prosecutor, he's a very strong proponent of this program and a strong believer in everything we do here today. We also have the chief of police from the Kingman Police Department, Chief DeVries. We also have, I'm not sure what the official title is, Assistant Chief of Police or Rusty Cooper. And we have the Chief Deputy from the Mojave County Sheriff's Office, Dean McKee. And again, law enforcement officers, and a lot of people may be kind of afraid of law enforcement officers. Again, they are very strong supporters of the program. And most of you, probably all of you, are in the program because you had law enforcement contact on some level. But again, law enforcement is a very strong supporter of this program. I always send an invitation to the arresting officer of all of the graduates. And we actually have one of the arrest officers here today, Officer Espinoza from the Kingman Police Department. And we're very honored to have him. Again, he's here to see a person that he arrested commence from this program. I don't want to say graduate from this program, but successfully complete the program. We also have Susan Davidson. Susan Davidson is the drug court coordinator. And Lance Bowen from the Mojave County Probation Department as well. And these are, as you know, very, very dedicated people to the program. And also from the Kingman Drug Court program, we have Mike. Where's Mike? There's Mike. James. And Sarah. And I can tell by your applause that you understand the importance of their role and their dedication to you, because the drug court team, again, is comprised of very dedicated professionals. They're dedicated to you and your recovery, and I can tell from your applause that you recognize that and you appreciate that. And I preside over the Kingman Drug Court program, and I am very fortunate, quite frankly, and honored to be a drug court judge. It really is the best thing that I do as a judge. As a judge, you have different roles, you do different things, but the drug court by far is the best job to have. And I think there's only 3 of us out of 9 that do the adult drug court, and I'm just really proud that I'm one of those judges because it's such a very important program. I'm just noticing, I think I'm wearing the exact same shirt and tie that's up on the screen. Hopefully that's not an old picture. Perhaps you can tell by my hairline then and now maybe how old the picture is. At least I'm not wearing the same suit, I don't think, so at least I changed the suit. Anyway, I really enjoy working with the drug court team. I really enjoy working with the drug court participants. I'm on the criminal bench, and on a daily basis, I send people to jail, I send people to prison, and afterwards, I don't even remember who they are 2 minutes later. It's really nice that there's people I put on probation that I see on a regular basis, or I see at the commencement ceremony to see how well they're doing. It's very rewarding for me, again, to see how people are progressing and doing in drug court and becoming clean and sober. Prior to each drug court, and the Kingman Drug Court meets every Friday from 10 to noon. Prior to that, the drug court team has staffings. And there I am. At least I'm not wearing the dark blue shirt with a matching tie. So I got different apparel on there. But anyway, the drug court team meets in my chambers, and we're very dedicated to what we do. We know we're making very important decisions, and there's the drug court team making very important decisions. And we discuss every week the progress of each of the participants. We decide what awards perhaps should be given for people that are doing very well. We decide promotions when people need to go from one phase to another, and we also decide on sanctions. And this is a collective process. There are times that, quite frankly, we make decisions, for instance, on terminating someone from drug court, and the vote may be 4-3. So these are collective decisions. We're not always unanimous, but we respect each other's opinions. We respect each other's ideas and philosophies, and we try to come down to a collective decision. Sometimes our discussions can be really robust. Sometimes we have robust discourse. Sometimes things can get kind of heated. Sometimes we really have strong debate. And I think we have a picture of how some decisions are simply made in drug court, because we can have some really heated exchanges among the drug court team. I didn't hear as many laughs as I hoped I was going to hear from the audience, but hopefully all of you get that. The other thing that we are doing this year for our commencement, as if you see behind me, there are 10 small pine trees, and there will be 10 graduates, and each of the people who graduate, or the commencement-ees, will be receiving a pine tree. And the reason you'll be receiving a pine tree is we will ask you to plant this pine tree, hopefully at your house or someplace that you can nurture your pine tree. And as your pine tree grows, it's also going to represent your growth. So keep in mind that as the pine tree grows, you grow as well. Don't let your pine tree die. Make sure you nurture it, you water it, you give it nutrients. But we want everybody to take something away from the commencement ceremony that is tangible, that again will be symbolic of your growth. So everybody will get a pine tree. Hopefully everybody has a program. My understanding is we actually ran out, which I apologize. If somebody really wants one, you didn't get one, I can get you one. We can reprint them. But if you look in the back of your program, there is a forest of pine trees of different sizes. Again, that represents growth and represents your growth and your continual growth as your pine tree will continue to grow. Also, the phrase, "the journey begins." Again, this is only a beginning for the people who are graduating or finishing the drug court program. You're not at the finish line, you're at the beginning line, because your recovery will be ongoing. And I do applaud everybody who's here. I really applaud everybody who's completed the program successfully, and everybody who will be graduating and getting a pine tree today, because it is a long journey that each of you made. A lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifices. For some of you, a lot of ups and downs. And the drug court team, I can assure you, is very proud of everybody who's completing this program. So again, I want to applaud everybody who is here for graduation. Our speaker today will be Chief DeVries from the King Police Department. I'm really looking forward to this presentation. Again, despite the fact he's in law enforcement, very strong supporter of the drug court program. So I'll turn this over to Chief DeVries.
Good morning, everybody. I can honestly tell you it truly is an honor for me to be here today, and especially to see the size of the audience today. It was an honor for me when Judge Sipe called and asked if I would be willing to come and speak to you briefly. He did not mention YouTube, but we'll work through that aspect of it. But why it means so much to me, and I know it means a lot to you, but this journey, as it's been told, began over 12 years ago, and now to see it where it is, to me, is really thrilling. But Just over 12 years ago, we held a meeting at our department, and we invited key stakeholders from the community to attend, and we filled the room. And the idea behind that, knowing what issues were related in the community here with drug use, is we talked about what are we doing right now to try and address some of the problems. And the second thing is, where are our gaps in addressing the problem? And the third is, what could we do together to try and make a difference? And 12 years ago, we brought in Judge Cole from Yuma County to hear about the Yuma County Drug Court program. He was a real pioneer, strong supporter of the program. No pressure on our judges here, but he was also known throughout the Southwest as the hugging judge. And we learned a lot. And we began that journey then to try and bring a drug court to Mojave County. I had the honor of attending the first graduation, and now to see 10 people successfully completing the program, that's tremendous. It really is. And from that 12 years ago, many things did begin to happen. We had the Meth Coalition that began. We started to walk away from drugs. We started a multitude of training programs in the schools and just as much outreach as we could possibly do. Because I am a firm believer, even though I serve as the chief here, have the honor of serving as the chief for Kingman, I also serve as the chairperson for our Magnet Task Force, a drug task force. So you would think in my role, I would be all about one thing and one thing only, and that's enforcement. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not where I come from. I'm a firm believer that the only way we can have an impact in people's lives and not to arrest our way out of it is to help them change lives and move forward and make a difference. So I'm a firm believer in a three-prong approach. That's prevention, where we can hopefully try and stop things from happening. But if they do, I understand that treatment is the second prong that we need to be able to hopefully help people start down a different path. And third, obviously, from our career is enforcement. Those three things working together, I truly believe we can start to have an impact. So as we began to develop these programs over the course of those years, we actually attended the Andy Devine Days Parade one year. And we've been doing things for a few years, and we walked with the group, the recovery group, and we talked about things that were occurring in the community. But it was then that I realized, because as we were standing there getting ready with a lot of the people that were in recovery, they're going, what are they doing here? Pointing at us in the uniforms because we were the wrong guys to be there. I realized that we did have three legs going, but they weren't sturdy together. And we needed to make those three legs more sturdy. And that's a process that has been going on for years and will continue to go on for years. Since then, we've tried to look at things differently through our eyes and through the eyes of our officers. Very proud that Officer Espinosa is here today because that means a lot. They're not just out there to make a statistic, an arrest, to lock them up and throw away the key. There, we've done our part. For him to be here to see this successful completion says a lot that what we're trying to do as an agency to have a bigger impact in lives. We've looked at a variety of programs, and I pledge to you there's more coming. As a matter of fact, there's a meeting going on right now where we're looking at, it's not a drug court program, but something that we can do in the justice court, an early intervention program for somebody that is possibly struggling with opioid use or abuse, so that we can try to stop things on the front end and have a greater impact as well. So we're moving through that. Some of you saw, we're very proud that we were the first agency in the state to implement Narcan, an opioid overdose reversal agent. And we were very proud of that. But as we moved into that program and tried to get it moving across the state, it was slow. And we heard comments, and we still hear comments, that why bother? And that was stunning to me to hear, because I'm thinking, well, what are you talking about? Why bother? I got into this career to make a difference, not to judge who's going to live and who's going to die. And I'm proud to say that because of that, and our officers, when I went to them and said, this is a possibility if we could put this program into play here in the community, what are your thoughts? And they're saying, yes, we want it, we believe we can make a difference. And we have. And I'm very, very proud of that. But it shows when you hear comments like that, that we have to continue to work to strengthen those 3 legs to make a difference in our lives. So 10 of you now are coming forward, and it shows that 3 of those legs are working, but we have to continue to work. And we're here as you make this pledge and as you graduate and move forward down this new journey, substance-free. This is going to be a commencement and a celebration that you're going to remember. Hopefully you're going to remember for a long, long time, instead of celebrations perhaps in your past that you have no recollection of what really occurred. This is a chance for you to walk away and remember it. So you're making a pledge today, and my pledge to you as well is we will continue to strengthen those 3 legs so that we can see this class of 10. Let's fill this room with those that are successfully completing the program. But thank you to the graduates. Thank you to the parents and the family and the friends. This is tremendous. So congratulations from all of us.
Chief DeVries, on behalf of the Mojave County Drug Court Program, we want to present you the Mojave County Drug Court coin. This will be the same coin that all the graduates also received today. So again, thank you very much for being here. I have no problem with Chief DeVries not referring to me as a huggy judge, because for those of you who know me the best, would never mistake me as a huggy judge. So I would not want that title. I now want to introduce Judge Rick Williams. Judge Rick Williams presides over the Bullhead City Drug Court Program. He's been involved in the drug court program since its inception. He's very dedicated to the program. I'm sure all of the people that appear in front of him enjoy him as a judge, enjoy his leadership, and enjoy his wisdom in your recovery. And he is here now to hand out some promotions and present his graduates. Judge Williams.
I'm a huge fan of irony and sarcasm, so I want you to know I resisted my natural inclination to just, oops, I pushed a button, whoever's in charge of this. But I resisted every urge to just give Judge Sipe a huge squeeze just then, a big hug. And then before I get to our phase promotions and our graduates, I got to talk about the trees for a second, because when I first came in this morning, a couple of thoughts crossed my mind. Oh, great. Now I've got to see how many bad tree cliches I can work into my speech. Like when someone started the program, they couldn't see the forest for the trees. Or watch your step, you're not out of the woods yet, or something. But I'm going to try not to. And then the other thought I had is this seems an awful lot like a Kingman thing, because there should be pine trees in Kingman. It's colder here. It snows occasionally in the winter. But what does that have to do with Lake Havasu and Bullhead? But let me tell you, I lived in Kingman for a few years and then moved to Bullhead City in 2001. And I thought it was the most asinine thing to see people growing pine trees in Bullhead City, but they do. And I've got one in my backyard, and it's been there for years. And so these suckers will grow even if you live in the hottest place on earth. So, and enjoy it. And I do love the symbolism that these trees have about how if you provide some nutrients, some nourishment, they can grow and become strong and provide shelter and so forth. And also, don't forget to decorate them for Christmas, too. There are probably some slides later on thanking some people, but I would like to take a moment to thank some very special, very important people. Each one of these people are entitled to their own standing ovation. I would ask that maybe you withhold your applause until I'm done with the list. That way we can get to our graduates. But I would first like to express my heartfelt appreciation to our Bullhead City team. And they consist of Lance Bowen, Susan Davidson, Tracy Wenzel, Cindy Howell, Jason Burris, Patricia Pueblo, Tom Boffman, Stephanie Phillips, Bobby DeBatt, Amy Berry, and Sally Charles. Thank you all. And then a lot of what we do is made possible and supported by a group of citizens, business people, community leaders who got together and formed a nonprofit corporation. Some of you have seen the benefits of their fundraising efforts. Some of you have had help with rent. Some of you have had help with medical or dental care because of Bridges to Recovery. And so I would just like to acknowledge the board of directors for a moment. They consist of Hildy Angus, Nancy Mongeau, Elaine Maestas, Bobby DeBatt, Buck Hendricks, Beverly Mrazek, Judy Selberg, Mark Feynman, Kelly Ward, and Sean Brissell. So thank you all. And then this program, the Adult Drug Court program, started in January of 2012, and it would not have been possible but for the efforts of our probation department and the support of our court leadership. And so I would like to acknowledge a few more people. First of all, our presiding judge, Chuck Gertler, our presiding criminal judge, Judge Lambert, Kip Anderson, our court administrator, whose job, as I've referred to, is often like herding cats, trying to keep all of us judges in line, and Alan Palomino, the adult chief probation officer. So thank you all for your support. One other order of business and a few more comments before we get to the phase promotions. Bobby DeBatt could not be here. He texted me this morning and asked me to pass along a quote to the graduates, and I want to make sure I get this right. Never let nothing to lose be all that you have left, which I think is a great quote, and I wish Bobby was here to give it, but I'm happy to pass it along for him. Never let nothing to lose be all that you have left. As I was listening to Judge Sipe this morning, I was reflecting back on a bit of my own journey as a judge, and I started practicing, well, as a judge in Kingman, and I had a full criminal calendar, much like Judge Sipe and Judge Lambert. I haven't had a full criminal docket for almost 3 years now. My office moved to Bullhead City about 3 years ago, and so I haven't presided over a criminal docket for some time. However, over the past 3 years, the issues of substance abuse, alcoholism, prescription pill abuse, have become so prevalent, and you sometimes think that it's confined only to the criminal cases. It's not. I handle juvenile delinquency cases, dependency cases, family law cases, and I think substance abuse is involved in about 90% of our dependency cases, where the state comes in and takes custody of someone's child, and where parents run the risk of losing their parental rights and losing their children. I see substance abuse issues in our juvenile delinquency cases starting as young as age 12, even younger than that. And then with family law cases, alcoholism, substance abuse are allegations in about half of the family law cases that I see. And again, that just drives the point home about how prevalent this problem is, and how not only is your freedom at risk, but your families are at risk, your health is at risk, the children and our future are all at risk because of substance abuse. And that's why programs like Drug Court are so important, and I agree with Judge Sipe. It's the best part of the job. I love the Drug Court program. I love that I get to work with such dedicated professionals, and I love that I get to work with people that may be struggling, but they are working hard to try and better themselves, improve themselves, and strengthen their families. So it is an honor and a privilege to be able to be here and to work with you. So thank you for that. So, moving on to our promotions. We have a few promotions today. Some of these may be a surprise to the recipients, some of them are not. And I would just like to express my appreciation for the hard work of all of these people receiving promotions. And every graduation, I feel like I have to give a disclaimer, because there may be some of you in the audience hoping that you're going to be one of these recipients, and you're not. And then you're going to be really pissed. Oh, this is on YouTube. You're going to be really upset. Sorry. Won't be the first time that I've embarrassed my family, or the court for that matter. So anyway, you may be really upset because you didn't get one of these promotions. My advice to you, I think I hit a button again. My advice to you is hang in there. If today's not your day will come soon enough. Hang in there and stay the course and just keep fighting for yourself. And in no particular order of importance, all of these recipients are important. I would like to congratulate the following for their promotion, their completion of Phase 1 and promotion to Phase 2. Catherine Cantrell. Yes, and when you hear your name, please come up to get a certificate of achievement and gift card. Congratulations. I think somebody wants to take a picture. That's okay. Congratulations. Okay, what was that? The next phase promotion, again, graduating or completing Phase 1 and moving to Phase 2, Jackie Doherty. This was supposed to be one of the surprise ones. Is it a surprise? Yeah. All right. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right, next we have a couple who are promoting from Phase 2 to Phase 3, and just to express the court's appreciation, the drug court team's appreciation for these gentlemen's hard work. They've been consistently engaged in their recovery, trying to better themselves, showing insights day in and day out. And our first recipient is Ross Berger. Good job. Thank you. Also promoting from Phase 2 to Phase 3 today is Matthew Neske. We have one more promotion, and this participant is promoting from, hard to believe, I have to double check just to make sure it's true, from Phase 3 to Phase 4. And this gentleman sometimes runs the risk of out-sarcasming me sometimes, but he has done a tremendous job, again, showing a lot of growth, and we couldn't be more proud of him, Devin Kindig. Okay, moving on to our first graduate from Bullhead City. We've got three. It's going to be Norman Fields. And over the last few days, I've been reflecting about what am I going to say about Norman? Holy cow. This is everyone's least favorite part of the program, seeing the before and after shots. I will say this, you know, Norman started out pretty strong, and he had some struggles, and I think if I could describe his biggest challenge was he tended to get in his own way sometimes, and as I've said many times, we all tend to be our own worst enemy. Norman, in my opinion, can be stubborn, very opinionated, stubborn, hard-headed. And sometimes that can be an impediment, of course, because you need to open yourself up to be able to learn. But I would also submit those can also be strengths. And I think that Norman, throughout his participation in drug court, and like with most people, he had some ups and downs, but he made it this far. Obviously, there were more good times than bad. And over the last several months, Norman has just shown a strength of character. He's shown consistency. He's consistently remained employed. He's a hard worker. I know his parents are proud of him, and we are all very proud of him. So, Norman, if I had some advice, don't get in your own way, but stay strong, because you are just a force to be reckoned with. So, Norman, come on up here, please. Where's the certificates? I'll be right back.
Take your time, Judge.
Well, I was kidding.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I was kidding that we were going to withhold these just to make sure he didn't have any F-bombs or anything like that. But,
I have 6.
But Norman, we have a certificate of graduation, gift cards. Also, our graduates today are receiving a coin. And it's the drug court coin. So you'll be getting that as well.
Oh, get back.
And you get the tree, but I would suggest maybe you don't take the trees back to your seats. Maybe you can pick them up at the end of the ceremony after there's some pictures taken and so forth. But congratulations.
But we're not allowed to have trees.
Oh. Good luck.
Hell yeah. Settle down. Good morning. I have a short story for you real quick, all right? Try to keep up. It's a little bit lengthy. I'm going to condense it. There's a man, right? And there's a storm. So the town started flooding. Goes up to the second story, the water's still rising, he's tripping out. Finally, the water's so high he has to jump out, climb on the roof. Well, along comes a boat, and this guy goes, come on, man, I'll help you out, I'll save you. No, I'm all right, man, God will save me. Okay, the guy took off in the boat. Later on, a helicopter came by. Come on, man, let's go. I'll save you. No, it's all right. God will save me. Well, inevitably, he died. Standing in front of the gates, talking to St. Peter. He said, what the hell happened, man? I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. He said, what the hell do you want from me? I sent guys. I sent a boat. I sent a chopper. What's the point? We got our boat. We got our helicopter. You can take advantage of it. The program is a conduit to take you from just simply existing to engaging in actual life. I've been an addict for 17 years. Steady all day, every day. That's all I did. And now I get to do stuff. It's kind of crazy. Something else I want to tell you, nothing worthwhile under creation is easy. Nothing. If it was easy, it would have no value. So when you're sitting here thinking to yourself and stomping your foot, this is so hard. Don't even play with me. You know you do. Don't joke around. Be glad that it's hard. If it was easy, it'd be pointless, and you're not doing anything. If there's no difficulty, remember that. If there's no difficulty, you're doing nothing. So look out for that. During your recovery process, you're going to encounter people who know all about it. I got it down. Huh? Run away. They're lying to you. And they're probably not altogether there. If anybody, for real, straight up, plain and simple, if anybody tells you, this is easy if you just do what you're supposed to do, tell them to get the hell out of your face. They are a danger to you and your sobriety. And I skipped stuff. Judges, good morning. Thank you for all your hard work. Chief, thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. I have an ancient phrase for you. It's ancient Latin. It's numquam cedere. It means to never surrender. It doesn't mean don't give up. It doesn't mean keep on trucking. No. It means never surrender. So when you encounter one of these little parts I'm talking about, or you're just struggling, keep going. Don't surrender. Keep working at it. You can do it, and you're worth it. A lot of the times we decide we want to go into recovery because we discover we're missing something. We discover there's a problem with our lives. All of a sudden we realize that we're missing our God-given right to something more. And you are worth it, plain and simple. Don't hesitate, and don't give up. Struggling just means you have another opportunity. Man. Now, for those of you that sit around, because I did too, well, why can't I go gamble? I'm not addicted to gambling. Or why can't I have a beer? Don't ask your probation officer that, that's dumb. All right? You can't have it because the greater likelihood is that you'll take a drink and then you'll be like, hell with it, I handled that one all right, and then you'll get 6, and then 24, and then all of a sudden you've been high for a month. Don't do that. Avoid any kind of addictive substance at all. To our POs, thank you. We appreciate the stuff that you do, especially when you don't go, you know what, clap them in irons and send them to prison. Because quite frankly, I probably should have been in prison a few times. So make sure you do that. And as I said, we owe the judges a tremendous debt. Not only do they, there's no compulsion for a judge to be a drug court judge. There's no compulsion for a judge to sit and listen to you jaw on and try to talk yourself out of absolute stupidity, and yet they do. When you should be shackled and dragged off, you are not. So we owe them a humongous thank you. So thank you again. For my parents, just real fast. Once upon a time ago, when God was but a child skipping through a field dreaming about mankind, he formulated an idea called parents. Mine were what he thought of. My father is a sterling example of what every man, husband, and father should be. If I can only be 1/10 of the man my father is on his worst day, I got it made. My mother is what every woman, wife, and mother should strive to be. A lady, hell yeah, and an embodiment of God's own love for any other human being at all. I could do much worse than trying to be my parents. And now, I wrote these for you just for the judge. I got a whole list of F-bombs. Yeah? Thought I was playing, didn't you? The first F-bomb is fanatic. Gotcha. All right? Be fanatic about your sobriety. Be an absolute fanatic. If you are a member of AA and NA and this works for you, by all means, be fanatic about that. Don't try to bludgeon me over the head with the big book, but be fanatic. Fervor. Fervor is defined as a great intensity. Again, have fervor for your sobriety, but also for your own life. And I don't mean simply you breathing, that's really not all that relevant. We're talking about having a life. Going to work, paying your bills, spending time with your lady or your man, whatever makes you happy. And of course your babies, all right? You know what I mean? This is time to have fervor about something more than chasing down a sack. You can do it, I promise. It's easy. A fiat, a positive order or decree. This is what I'm giving you, a fiat. Take a breath, relax. Especially if you're brand new in the program, take a deep breath and step back, especially if you're struggling. You'll get it. It's really not as hard as you're making it out to be. I promise you it's not. Foment, to rouse and incite. You need to foment deep within you the desire for something different and to nurture that. The faster you do that, the faster you'll be done and over with, and the faster you'll stay sober forever. And fruition. Last F-bomb, don't worry about it, I'm done. This is an accomplishment of desire. like you have a strong desire to graduate drug court. Fruition. All right? Now, there's one more thing. Well, there's a couple more, but this is almost done. Our past is gone. All right, everybody always wants to tell you, I can't forget about my past. Well, no, you're not supposed to forget it. You're just not supposed to dwell on it. So remember your foolishness, remember your mistakes, but don't dwell on it. If you want something, take it behind to work and get it done, however you need to. It does not do to dwell upon dreams and forget to live. If you have a goal, work for it. And now, finally, I'm going to go ahead and just pressure you with some Catholic stuff. All right. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord lift his divine countenance upon thee and bring you peace. Remember, nothing is as horrible as it first seems. You can get it done. And finally, I wish you all strength, honor, integrity, and courage. Be safe and live well. Thank you.
Very nicely done.
I told you they were going to come.
Wow. You know, you're a tough act to follow, sir. But I will say this. I don't know that I've ever been more nervous before someone's speech, then more relieved, and then more proud. So, Norman, thank you for those thoughts. Oh, and what to say about our next graduate, Lynette Dasco. When I think about Lynette, the phrase that comes to mind is self-esteem, because when she first started the program, she was lacking in self-esteem. And there were times, it seems like every time she would come to court, there would be excuse after excuse, why she needed pills, meds, and I don't think she could even describe for me what her diagnosis was, just that she was in pain and needed all of this stuff. On the other hand, she showed drive, and that's what impressed us, because even though she would test positive and struggle, she would show up to court, she would ride a bike to court, that is when she wasn't crashing it, and she would show up to drug test even though she knew that it might be dirty. And so there was a lot of promise there. And there was a point several months ago now where just the light bulb seemed to go off for Lynette. She got it, and she hit her stride, and she has not looked back. She has gained her self-esteem back. She comes across as confident, and even though she might be nervous in front of all of you today, she has so much poise and dignity and strength that she shows day in and day out whenever she comes to drug court. It's amazing. The transformation for her has been absolutely amazing. There were members of our team that really weren't sure we would ever get to this point, or that Lynette would ever get to this point, but by God, she did it. She's just been a force of nature. So, Lynette, get up here and let's hear what you have to say. Good to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is all for you.
Thank you.
And it's yours.
Thank you. Thanks, Norman. I gotta say something profound now. I feel like for a second there, I was like looking over and everybody was walking down. I was like, why is everybody limping? But there's stairs there. So yeah. Hi, my name's Lynette. I am I used to say 23-year heroin addict, but no, it's been 26 years. Wow. That's a trip. yeah, I never thought I would get to this part. I started using the first time with my mother, and to give you an example of how much I was in and out of jail before I came here, I think there was four jails in Vegas at the time, and I had to go to each one to clear up everything before I came to Bullhead. But that's to give you an idea how much I was in and out of jail. And I don't know, he said that, yeah, the light bulb went off. I think that was when I went to rehab. And I don't know, they gave me a certificate for the most positive person. And so I was like, everybody was like proud of me and, you know, smiling. And I was like, I fed off that. I was just, I don't know, that's what did it for me. That's where it finally hit. But, oh my God, I never thought this, like taking it all in right now, it's true. I said I wasn't gonna cry, but yeah. It's not gonna be as long as Norman's, but I just want, you know, my probation officer, Tracy, thank you. You know, you don't do it just for a job. We all know that you really care about us, and it means a lot. Jason, thank you for being my friend. You know, you always are there for me, no matter what. I can tell you anything. Judge Williams, I hope to be as confident as you are someday. Thank you. I'm gonna cut it really short. I'm getting really emotional. I really never thought this would. I'm sorry about what I can. So, if you're ever feeling like, you know, you got people not supporting you, people talking behind your back, remember you're just 2 steps in front of them, okay? But be vulnerable, give it a chance, trust the process. What I'm trying to say is I rocked it, you know? And if you just trust the process, you could rock it too.
Thank you, Lynette. Okay, the last graduate from Bullhead City is Robert Holbrooks. And again, yes. Stark contrast, huh? What to say about Robert? He started in Kingman, and from what I understand, he really struggled in Kingman with the Kingman Drug Court. And he hasn't had a lot of struggle since he's been to Bullhead City, because again, I think he got it and he really hit his stride. And Judge Sipe and I were debating who should get credit for that. Should the Kingman team get credit for doing the hard work, or the Bullhead team? But really it boils down to Robert and his efforts. And Robert's story, everyone in here has a different story, different backgrounds and struggles. I found that Robert's was pretty unique because Robert was one of the few drug court participants that we've had that actually had a pretty significant history of sobriety. And he was in recovery, I believe, for 14 years until things took a turn for the worse. And he really had trouble finding his way again, but by God, he did. Robert has been tremendous in our drug court program. Again, once he found his stride, he just took off and there was nothing holding him back. One of the things that I find relatable about Robert is we're both fathers, and he talks just about every time he comes to court about his kids and about the children who are here with him today are his motivation. And he's doing things for his children to make sure they have a great birthday party, or just to make sure that he's there to give them advice. And that's really what it's all about, at least for me, and I think it is for Robert. And so I think, speaking on behalf of the entire Bullhead Drug Court team, we've actually learned a lot from Robert. He has a lot of insights and has had a lot of reflection. He has been a mentor to many young men in the program and many young men in sober living, and just a tremendous resource. It was almost to the point that we didn't want him to graduate. We wanted to keep him with us for as long as we could, but that's not really fair, and that's pretty selfish. So again, Robert has done an amazing job in the program. We're very proud of him. Robert, come on down here and let's hear what you have to say. All right, sir, this is all for you. Congratulations. Did we?
No.
Robert?
I'm just kidding. Oh. Hello. You know, I had to speak before in front of a group and thought I had it down and opened my mouth and forgot everything. So I made notes this time. Yeah, you know, I've been used for 15 years, and like Judge Williams said, I had 14 years clean and sober. People ask me why I relapsed. And, you know, because when things got good, I forgot about my program. Because when my butt's falling off and things are bad, I know what to do, call my support, go to my meetings, do what needs to be done. But when things were going good, like I had the job, I had the family, I had the kids, no problems, whatever, I forgot about all that stuff. So this time around, you know, things are good. And I'm doing my program and my recovery twice as hard. You know, I'd like to thank the drug court staff, everybody for giving me a chance, you know, all my supports, you know, my drug court peers. They not only showed me how to do it, but how not to do it, and I learned by their mistakes. And, you know, for the last couple months, 3 months, you know, I'm not required to go to drug court every week, you know, once a month, but I go every week because I see how others are doing it and not doing it, and I learn, you know, because I don't know it, you know. Like Norman said, the moment I say, I know how to do this or I got it down, no. Because my addiction, it's sitting on my shoulder and it's working out and it's waiting until my weakest moment and then it'll strike without me even knowing it, you know. So I got to remember that. Let's see here. You know, my probate, oops, I hit the button too, just like the judge. Tracy asked me, like, what's one of my biggest accomplishments or two of my biggest accomplishments? And, you know, an accomplishment to me is something you've accomplished and it's over with. And my recovery is never going to be that way, but that's one of my accomplishments up to this point is my recovery. And, you know, the second one was, you know, by coming to terms and accepting my divorce, which has allowed me to remain great friends with Janelle and allows us to continue doing a great job together, raising our boys. You know, because that's the most important thing to me is my kids. You know, and being a good role model and showing them how to do it, because that is our future, is our kids and the young ones out there. All right, hold on here. All right. Okay. You know, people say you can't have fun in recovery. Yeah, you can. You know, I've been to concerts with Devin. You know, I went to Fright Dome with Angie. I go fishing with Dave. You know, I'm part of my kids' life, you know. Instead of just being there with my kids, I'm part of their life. I get to experience life with them. You know, like I said, their birthday's tomorrow. I'm excited about that. You know, I have friends who support me and I can rely on if I need something, that come here today to see me do this. And, you know, and the biggest thing is I now not only like myself, but I love who I am and I'm happy with me, you know. And I don't regret my past because my past made me who I am today, you know. And I found in my recovery what I've always looked for with drugs. That's happiness, feeling a part of, and to fit in and fill the void in my heart that I always try to do with drugs. And last but not least, I would like to share this poem with you that I wrote while locked up a year and a half ago. Keep in mind, I didn't just sit down one day and write it in 15 minutes. No, it took me a good 3 months. Writing, rewriting, throwing it away, and saying screw it. But that would be giving up, and I don't give up. So I'd sit right back down or stay up many countless nights tweaking and retweaking, and I don't mean that kind of tweaking, till finally it was done. There are many first steps to things. Some examples are like a baby taking that first step, or maybe that first step towards forgiveness, or when you are trying for first base on that first date, or even in recovery. There are many first steps. The count is endless. So here it is. To take the first step is a frightening thing, to face the unknown, the uncertainty it brings. But like the child who's tired of the crawl, the first step is the most important of all. It expands your horizons. You can see a new light. The joy of discovery is like taking flight. The first step you take will open all doors to see yourself as you've never seen before. And like the child who gives it his all, sometimes he falters, he will teeter and fall. But strong arms are there to catch him, and then they stand him back up to start walking again. The longest journey takes one step at a time, but once you get going, you'll do just fine. Take my hand, God, he'll help me along. I'll be right beside you as two will be strong. Yes, that first step is a big one, the most important of all, but he'll be there to catch me should I teeter and fall. I'll set my sights forward, I'll grip my teeth and walk on. When I see the road ending, I'll break into a run. I love you, I'll help you all the way through, but to take that first step, well, that's up to you. Thank you.
It looks like Judge Moss could not make it today. And so there are a couple of phase promotions I'll handle for him. And I've known Judge Moss for 18 years. We used to work together in the same law firm. And then he became a supervisor for the county before he was a judge. And my first inclination, because I love him like a brother, my first inclination is to razz him for not being here. But I would like to point out, for those of you that have attended these graduation ceremonies before, would know that Judge Moss has been a guest speaker at these programs when he was a supervisor, and he told very personal, harrowing but ultimately uplifting stories about his own experiences. And he's a firm believer in this program, and so I will just pass along his regrets for not being here. And I know that he is very, very proud of these people who are being promoted today. And so I would like to invite someone up here who has just completed Phase 2 and is now promoting to Phase 3. Clifford Horkins. And this participant is completing Phase 3, moving on to Phase 4, Jessica Tolley. You can now breathe a sigh of relief. I'm going to sit down now. And Judge Sipe will take things from here. Thank you.
As I get older, unfortunately, I notice that I don't seem to hear as well as I used to hear. So I just need to confirm this. Devin, were you promoted to Phase 4? Congratulations. One of the things that happens often is a drug court participant may really struggle in one program or another, and therefore they may be sent down to Bullhead or to Kingman. Sometimes there's facilities like sober living that Kingman doesn't have that Bullhead may have. So it's really rewarding for me to see Devin, who started in Kingman, now in phase 4 of the drug court program. Jackie got promoted to phase 2. That was very inspirational for me to see. And then Robert really struggled in the Kingman Drug Court program. I didn't know what we're going to do with him. When I saw that you were on the graduation list, I was so happy to see that, because obviously you did very good work and had a great turnaround. So again, I just want to applaud everybody. It's nice to see you again. It's nice to see your progress. I'm going to move this keyboard out of my way so I don't start advancing slides accidentally. We have quite a few advancements and quite a few graduates today, so we'll start with all of the phase promotions. Typically, the way a person in drug court is moved from one phase to another is whenever the drug court team feels that they are getting close to an advancement, they will actually be given a application, so to speak, or something they have to fill out to apply for the advancement. We review it as a drug court team, and then in a nonviolent way collectively decide whether or not to move this person to the next phase or not. All of the advancements today from Kingman will be what's called surprise advancements, which means they never had to fill out their application or request to be promoted to one phase or the other. Some of you probably are expecting a phase promotion, but I want to pretend these are all surprise promotions. So everybody acts surprised when you are being promoted today, even if you thought this might be coming. The first couple of advancements are drug court participants that are currently in phase 1, so that they'll now be in phase 2 of the program. Phase 1, of course, is engagement, and we're very pleased that the first surprise advancement is someone that we feel has now finally engaged in the drug court program and is doing everything that she should be doing. So, Lena, come on down. And act completely surprised. Congratulations. Lena. Achievement, and let's see if you fill the dollar free. So you're now in phase 2 of the drug court program. Good work. Good job. The next advancement may actually be surprised. And remember the slide that you saw where we're having a robust discourse in the Kingman Drug Court staff? And that was pretty much what it was like when we had a discussion whether or not to even place this person in the drug court program. I was the only person that advocated for this person to be in the drug court program. This person was on probation, had a probation violation, committed a new crime, and I wanted this person screened for drug court, and I was the only person that felt this person should be in the drug court program. I was a defense attorney for 26 years in Mojave County before I became a judge, and I just feel I have a pretty good feel for people as far as whether we need to simply send them to prison or whether there's still something we could do to help this person out. So I finally got at least enough people to vote my way. So this person was placed in the drug court program in Kingman and has really excelled in the drug court program. And now this person is being promoted to phase 2. Michael, come on down. Surprise. Good job, Michael. There's your certificate. You're no longer in phase 1. You're now in phase 2, and there's a gift card for you. Good work. Congratulations. All right. Now we have some drug court participants moving from phase 2 to phase 3. And sometimes there's just not a whole lot to say about somebody. They just do good work week after week after week. This person struggled early on in drug court. We did have some concerns, and then this person pretty much caught fire and has been perfect in drug court since, and I'm confident is going to graduate sanction-free. And in about 6 more months, she's going to be a very proud mother. So come on down, Jessica. She's going to be a mother again. So there you go. Congratulations. You're now in phase 3 of the drug court program. Surprise. Can you believe that? Good job. Good work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if when you got here earlier today you were looking at all these slides that we're running, but there was a really cute slide, I think a couple of slides, of Jessica's daughter receiving a award from the judge at the last drug court, which I thought was very cute. Hopefully everybody got to see that. The next advancement is another person that's going from phase 2 to phase 3. I know this person's not going to be surprised, but at least act like you're surprised. But this is well-deserved. This is a person who works very hard in the program, is very dedicated to the program, and she really does everything she can to help everybody else in the drug court program. I think there was one occasion she literally saved the life of a person in the drug court program, so we really appreciate the fact that she works hard, she's dedicated, and she's really dedicated to all the other participants and does everything she can to help them and to be a good mentor as well. Kelly, come on down. Probably not that surprised, but congratulations.
Thank you.
You have completed phase 2. You're now in phase 3 of the drug court program, and here is your certificate of achievement.
Thank you.
Good work. All right, now we have some drug court participants moving up to the coveted level 4 or phase 4 of the drug court program. This first person is a person that I was his sentencing judge. And again, it's always rewarding when I have people in drug court that I was the sentencing judge. And when I sentence people, I take good notes. I keep the notes for future reference, but I really don't remember what I typically say at sentencing here in, about a week later. It could be old age, I don't know. But from time to time, this drug court participant reminds me of what I told him when I sentenced him. And what I told him was, based on your criminal record, you're never going to make it on probation. I'm going to see you again. I'm going to send you to prison for a really long time. I have no hope for you whatsoever. But his place in the drug court program, and he's excelled in the drug court program. He's been sanction-free. And I'm glad that what I told him turned out to be absolutely untrue. Sometimes I say things just to scare people straight, but I'm really glad. And I remember this conversation. I really did mean what I said at the time. And I'm glad I was completely misguided, because this person has done fantastic in drug court and has been very successful. And come on down, David. Say that to you. Congratulations, David. Here's a gift card. Do some Christmas shopping with that. And you're now in phase 4 of the drug court program. Great job.
Thank
you. All right. Our next phase promotion is a person who's kind of bounced around a little bit. She started in the Kingman drug court program. As I indicated, we send people to other programs, and she went down to Bullhead for a while because she was just struggling. And then she came back to the Kingman Drug Court program. And my recollection is she didn't really have permission to just come back to the Kingman Drug Court program. It was something that she decided to do on her own, but we welcomed her back, and she's doing, once again, fantastic in drug court, and now she's in phase 4. Kia. Again, you have to act surprised. All right. Are you surprised? All right. Congratulations, kid. You've done some good work. And now you're in phase 4 of the drug court program. And we have a gift card for you, do some Christmas shopping, and your certificate of achievement.
Thank you.
Great work. Good job.
Thank you.
And our final phase 4 promotion. This person could actually be surprised as well. It's a person that's kind of had some ups and downs. And one thing that I always tell people in drug court is that we're really suspicious. So there may be something going on that really there's nothing going on, but we're going to be suspicious and we're going to look into it. We're going to investigate it. And this person has had some ups and downs, definitely on the upswing, and I'm certain she will continue to be on the upswing. She seems very dedicated in the program. She seems to have a lot of confidence in herself now, and I believe will continue to do well. And I really hope this is actually a surprise. Trina. Surprised?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
So good job, Trina. Well deserved. You've done some good work. Just keep on the path you're on. Keep up the good work. And here's your certificate of achievement. You've completed phase 3. You're now in phase 4. Gift card. Do some Christmas shopping. And once again, congratulations. Now to the graduates, and I'm so looking forward to all of your presentations. The first graduate, I think when I think of this person, I think of the word relentless. This is a person that doesn't seem to let anything stand in his way, including just a few broken ankles. Here's a person that a few months ago during work fell off a roof, broke his ankles severely. He was in a wheelchair for a couple of months. He then, I think, was using crutches and maybe have used a cane. He's now walking again, but not as well as he used to. Despite his injuries, despite the setback, he never missed a beat in drug court. He continued to come to drug court every single week or every other week when he is required. He continued to go to his programs. He continued to do tests as he's required to do. And I was just so impressed that he could have probably fairly easily used this as an excuse or a crutch to kind of stay at home and not do anything. I'm in a wheelchair, would expect from me, but he didn't do that. He just was very relentless and very dedicated to the program to make sure that he was going to complete the program. And again, this is just a hard worker, a very relentless person. Come on down, Gregory. Let's come over here with the cameras.
Wrong side.
All right. Gregory, congratulations. Good job. We have for you your certificate of graduation. There's also a picture in here of the drug court, all of you guys, and a nice gift card for your Christmas shopping. And of course, we have the drug court coin. Now, this isn't a coin that you can go like spin. It's just a momentum from all your hard work. And again, we really enjoyed you in drug court. We're going to miss you. Great job and great dedication.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right. I don't have all the answers to every problem I face, but what I do have is a good grasp on my recovery. Over 20 years of drug use has shown me nothing but loss, not just to possessions, but more importantly, relationships and emotional connections. I did have many years of sobriety before my relapse and my actions that led me into the drug court program. I just simply lost my way. The Kingman Drug Court program gave me another chance at life instead of going to prison. I was able to relearn tools to help me cope with life and not want to anesthetize my reality, as so many addicts do to self-medicate with illegal drugs. Going to prison does not teach people how to live a clean and sober lifestyle. Many get out and go right back to old behaviors. and lifestyles. When you get the chance to work with people like Mike Esser, Judge Sipe, probation officers like Terry White, and work on learning about yourself in any ways, and work on learning about yourself and ways to battle relapse through group process and counseling, being held accountable for your actions and behaviors you can actually change. I've been in many intensive outpatient groups in the past, and even worked with many drug counselors on my recovery, but the way Mike Esser approaches people with open arms and a huge heart, creating his own material to teach you, is unlike anything I've seen before. His ability to care for someone without knowing them is a gift to any person in the Kingman Drug Court. And in my opinion, the best drug counseling and material you could ever get. I truly believe it was from his materials and groups I was able to not only remain clean and sober, but on my own, but continue to be, to give me over 16 months of clean time and a new choice and chance at life. I can't leave out Holly Castle. She was my best friend and crucial to my early recovery with all the support she offered me. Having a strong support system in place, like loved ones and fellow drug court participants, it really helps a person that can sometimes feel helpless and want to turn to illegal drugs. The Kingman Drug Court has given me the tools and the support to change my life to a complete 180 from what it was. While an active addiction, I hope that more drug addicts get the chance and opportunity to be in the Kingman Drug Court program instead of sent to prison, to where they will most likely fail to learn how to not use drugs and continue on in an unhealthy lifestyle. I am glad and happy to have shared my recovery with the participants in the Kingman Drug Court and the Kingman Drug Court team, and look forward to a clean and sober life and a happy future from here, drug-free. Thank you.
Our next graduate started the Kingman Drug Court program February 24th, 2017, which means this person is graduating in just under 10 months, which is about as fast as you can graduate from this program. We don't do anything to, he's looking at me, we don't do anything to try to get people through the program any sooner than they should. In fact, I believe we try to be as cautious as we can, because as a lot of people know here, once you hit phase 3, that seems to be the wall when you get to phase 3, where a lot of people struggle. So we try to be cautious, but we're also going to move people through the phases when it's appropriate to do so. This is a person that I was also the sentencing judge, so it was very rewarding for me to see this person's progress, especially when I first put this person on probation. He already been into an inpatient program, and when he was on probation, he continued to relapse. He had a probation violation with new charges, and I think he was placed on probation for quite a few crimes to begin with. So I thought to myself, this person is probably going to get a fairly lengthy prison sentence, but he's reinstated on probation. He ended up going to Prescott. Things didn't work out well there, so his probation was transferred back to Mojave County. He was placed in the Mojave County Drug Court program, and since then, this person has just been a rock star. This is a person who has done fantastic in drug court, has been perfect in drug court, clearly the best dressed male in drug court. He sets an example for everybody else in drug court, because in my drug court, I emphasize coming to court and dress nice, because it is still court, and everybody does come to court appropriately dressed. And this is a person that I kind of knew early on was going to graduate from this program, graduate sanction-free, and is going to graduate fairly quickly, because this person, again, simply has caught fire and has been clean and sober since he's been in the program. And I'm so glad about that, because quite frankly, there are some people that from time to time we see that we think we may read about in the newspaper someday because they're found overdosed, and this person's life is completely different. He's a joy to have in drug court. He has just an engaging personality, and we're definitely going to miss him. Come on down, Ezekiel. Did you see your before and after there, yeah. Ezekiel?
Yeah.
Congratulations. It just seems like you just started drug court yesterday. You went through the program very quickly, And so here's your certificate of graduation. Big 5, you're an athlete, you like to work out, so Big 5 card there for you, gift card, a picture of the drug court, and your own personal drug court coin. Well deserved. Ezekiel did it very well. Good job.
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you to everybody to come out and support us. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to all of us. And wow, it's been quite a long journey for me, and I just want to say thank you so much to the drug court, all of the drug court staff, all of our probation officers, man. You guys have been so awesome and so just incredible to me, and I know to everybody else in the program. You guys help us through, things that normal people don't get help from. You guys help people get new teeth. You guys help people do just all kinds of stuff, and I can't express my gratitude enough for everybody. It's just incredible. And so with that, I walked away from drugs, many times in my life. At least I thought I did. And and it always ended up the same. It always ended up me coming back to drugs, me coming out of rehab, getting right back on drugs. And it was a long road, and I know my family had a lot of grief, and sorry. Okay. And I know I put my family through a lot, and I just wanted to thank my family for coming out here. It means a lot. And so I know there's a lot of people in this room that I'm so grateful for, and like I said, I can't express how grateful I am for everybody. And if it wasn't for some people in this room, I don't know if I would be alive, because my addiction, I was on heroin for for you guys you're like it's a short time, but for me, I'm only 21 years old, and it felt like a really long time for me. And I ended up overdosed in my friend's car, and I was close to death. And if it wasn't for the Kingman Police Department finding me and administering Narcan, I wouldn't be here today. So. So thank you so much for that. And when I walked into the probation office, I think it was February 3rd, a probation officer had a choice. She was my probation officer. I'd been lying to her for quite a long time and just, telling her, I'm clean, I got this. And finally she said, bull crap, come down to Kingman and we'll take a look at you. And, they knew as soon as I walked in the door that I had been using and, the same old stuff. And so she had a choice. She could either put me in prison or, do what I'm so grateful for today. And she put me in drug court, and I'm so grateful for that. And so, man, it's been an incredible 10 months of my life here. Probably the best 10 months of my life ever. Sorry. I said I wouldn't choke up, but I can't help it. All right. And, man, it's been an awesome experience for me. Drug court has been the difference for me between life and death, because and that's what drug court was for me, man. It was a second chance in my life. It was a chance to really turn things around, and they gave me everything I needed to turn things around. They gave me a family to walk into and counselors to come and talk to and just everything. And so I'm so grateful for that, man. Thank you so much, drug court. I don't know how to express it enough that I'm so grateful for you guys, and I'm so grateful for my family. Thank you so much for constantly supporting me through a lot of grief, and that's all. Thank you so much.
Ezekiel, we have something else for you. Where's Ezekiel's family? Raise your hand. You have to be very, very proud of him today. You guys can do better than that. Thank you. Ezekiel is also receiving a sanction-free award because he's completed this program, again, like a rock star and sanction-free. So, again, great job. Congratulations. We'll miss you. As a reminder, graduates, make sure before you leave, get these pine trees to your house, get them planted, nurture them, let them grow with you. Our next graduate, I don't know really what to say about our next graduate. There's something about her that always intrigues me, and it's her ability to find employment. And I say that because a lot of people struggle finding employment because they may have felonies on their record, or their time is so constrained with drug court and probation services. Every time I see this person in drug court, she has new jobs, plural. And it's interesting to me because some people we want to encourage to find employment and they just can't. And this person can find employment just on a dime. I'm certain she probably has found 2 more jobs this morning before she even came here. This person has been very strong in drug court. I guess I would refer to her as a rock because she just seems rock strong and was dedicated to the program, completed the program fairly quickly. She began the program October 28th of 2016, so a little bit over a year. She was able to complete the program. She also completed the program sanction-free. So we're very proud to graduate Jennifer. See the monitor?
No, we're not going to look at that.
Everyone's favorite part.
We're not going to look at that.
Jennifer, congratulations. You think this day was ever going to come? Of course you did.
Yeah.
All right. So Jennifer, congratulations. On behalf of the drug court team, here is your certificate of graduation. Nice. With your name and a gift card, Christmas shopping, a picture of the drug court, and I know you're anxious to get rolling here with your presentation, and your drug court coin. Again, we really enjoyed you having a drug court, and you've done very well. Congratulations.
Holy crap, there's a lot of people here. So I guess I want to start by thanking a few people. I was kind of hoping that my sentencing judge would be here because me, like a couple others specifically, this is, unlike some people in this room that are going to have the ability to have their charges brought to misdemeanors, or people that are done this whole probation thing before, that wasn't my story. The first time I got a felony, I was sentenced straight to prison. I asked for help, but I instead got prison. And I know I'm not the only one in this room, but for speaking for myself, prison didn't work for me. I got released from prison and within 5 months went straight back to what I knew for so long. And so when I got arrested a year ago, I actually wasn't high. I was clean. But I had been praying for some kind of way to get away from the only thing that I found myself stuck in and the only thing that I knew, which was drugs in the drug world. And so although I got yelled at by my public defender, I had sent a kite to the prosecutor and Judge Jensen asking him for drug court, rehab, something, because I knew how to sell drugs. I knew how to sell drugs really well, but I didn't know how to be clean. So I found myself in the midst of drug court, not knowing what to expect, but knowing that, you know what, if it could help me learn how to be clean, I'll take it. Because I knew that eventually I was either gonna just like end up dying because of the addiction and the lifestyle, or there was something else. And so I gotta say thanks to Judge Sipe and everybody that has to do with drug court, because I'm here to tell you that prison doesn't work. It doesn't. It might be adult time out, but it doesn't do anything. And through programs like this, you guys have taught us not only how to be clean, but how to live, how to be productive, and that there is people that actually halfway give a crap about us, and that we're not just, you know, gonna be drug addicts dead in the street. You guys taught us another way to live. Well, for me personally, you did. And yeah, I kind of go through jobs a lot, but you know, it's whatever. It's whatever, it happens. And so I would like to say that, you know, a year ago when I got put into this program, I didn't have a license. I didn't see any chance of ever getting it, and I owed a few courts. And in the past 9 months, I've managed to not only get my license, get a car, pay off every court, and go from being, Judge Seip will remember, about 13 months behind on my probation fees because I wanted to go get a bunch of tattoos done, and I got so mad because he wouldn't let me go because I was so far behind on my payments. But through this program, I've managed to become caught up to the present month, to the point that when I start making payments, it's actually going to go for the fine for the crime, which is awesome. And I wouldn't have been able to do any of that without the help from the people that I work with at Arizona at Work, Cindy, Becky, B, my amazing boyfriend who wasn't able to be here today, but I guess we'll have to YouTube it so he can see it, and the probation officers and the judge. I'm a firm believer that this program works. This drug court program, if you want it, to anyone that's struggling, if you want it, you can do it. It ain't easy, but nothing easy is worth having, and nothing worth having is easy. So, yeah, so I guess I would like to say that if you live your life one day at a time, recovery becomes a little easier with every passing day. And anyone that's struggling, know that if you really want this, there's a better way to live, and the drug court program will help you get there. You just have to have the capacity of being honest.
And come on back down, Jennifer. Come on back down. We have one last, very important award for you, sanction free.
That's right.
You completed the program at sanction free, so we have a certificate advising you of such. So great presentation. That was a great speech. We appreciate it. And to really echo what Jennifer said, I am so glad we have this program. Quite frankly, although I sentence people to prison on a regular basis, I actually don't enjoy it that often. Once in a while, I do. But for the most part, I really don't enjoy sending people to prison. It seems like a ridiculous thing that we do at times, but I have to follow the law and I have to do what I believe is appropriate. And it is really nice that we have an alternative, and that's drug court, to simply send somebody to prison and not worry about them ever again. Because I agree completely. Prison doesn't do anybody any good. It doesn't get them drug-free or crime-free. We just simply remove them from society for a period of time. And hopefully this program will grow. This is a lot of graduates today, a lot of phase promotions today, and hopefully it'll continue to grow. I see on a regular basis more often that plea agreements are requiring people to be screened for the drug court program. So we're probably going to start even expanding the program more and more and have people more involved with the program and a lot more participants, which I have no problem with, because we'd rather do that than send everybody to prison. The next graduate from the Kingman Drug Court program, role model would be what I would characterize him, other than Messiah. That's kind of my personal nickname for him, and I can't imagine why I would say that, but really a great role model. He's done fantastic in drug court. He's received the rocket docket on numerous occasions. I think the other drug courts probably have the rocket docket. Not only he's done just fantastic in drug court, again, he helps a lot of other people in drug court. He's the first person that will step up and help somebody that's struggling, give them some resources, help them get to the Whiteard house, have a place to live. So this guy has been an inspiration to a lot of people, including myself, quite frankly. I don't show it because I'm not a huggy type of person, but he's been an inspiration to me, just watching him interact with the other drug court participants and really caring about the other people. And that's what's really important, is that you guys care about each other and help each other out, and that's really part of the program as well. So I'm very pleased, we'll miss him, but I'm very pleased that we are graduating the Messiah. Timothy, come on down.
Bring it in, Billy, come on.
what is this? He said, what is this? It's a certificate of graduation. So we're very proud of you, Tim. You've done great work. You get inspiration to even myself and a lot of other people. And here's your certificate of graduation, nice gift card for you, a photograph of you and all the other drug court participants. It's got to be a proud day for you. And your drug court coin. Again, you've done fantastic work, great attitude. Congratulations.
I thank you very much. In the picture. I'm very grateful, like Zeke. I'm very grateful for a lot of people in this room. Very grateful to the drug court team. Grateful to Rusty Cooper, Rick Wessels, Wendy Weaver, the Angel Manor Ministry, Stephanie Brown. Officer Espinoza, when you arrested me, I hated your guts for about the first 2 weeks. I couldn't stand you, man, and I couldn't stand anybody that was in law enforcement at that point in my life because I didn't want to obey the law. I didn't know how to live a life of being respectful to the law and live in society. I'm going to read a letter that I wrote to the judge pertaining to drug court. And I want to give special thanks to Stephanie because if it wasn't for her coming to jail, and if it wasn't for you arresting me and putting me in jail, and her coming almost every single visit, she came and visited me and told me about Jesus. She brought God into my life and she showed me what God's love is, and that changed my life. So I'm going to read this letter, and there's a reason behind it. Okay, this is to the Honorable Stephen F. Kahn. Okay, it says, first of all, I am in no way, shape, or form trying to justify or minimize the fact that I committed a crime. On 9/11, I was found in possession of a scale that had enough residue from crystal meth for Officer Espinoza to test. The test came back positive. I'm not sure what a usable amount of meth is under the law, but I know it was not enough for me to use because I had a really big habit, large habit. I'm a drug addict. I've been struggling with addiction for actually 27 years. I said 24 years. I've been doing drugs for 27 years. My addiction got really strong 24 years ago. In fact, I had about 6 months clean, 6 months 100% clean last year. No drugs or alcohol. I'm not sure what happened, but I relapsed and haven't come to my senses until now. I'm actually very happy that I got caught. Since being arrested, I have gotten back in touch with a very good, very dear friend of mine from the Praise Chapel. Her name is Stephanie Brown. She visits me, she visits me very often here, and she's helped me remember what's important to me. That's recovering from addiction. I don't want that lifestyle anymore. I want to be the man that I was last year when I was clean. I believe full-heartedly that I can do that with the help of probation, drug court, a sober living environment, and good Christian friends like Stephanie and numerous others from the Praise Chapel. Stephanie has contacted Robbie from the White House for me, and she said he'll hold a bed for me as soon as one opens. I also believe that drug court is perfectly fitting for me because it will hold me accountable and would be demanding enough for me not to get relaxed like regular probation tends to do with a lot of people. I wouldn't be asking for probation if I didn't believe that I could be successful. I am fully aware of the fact that if I violate, I could be facing 2.5 years compared to the 1.5 years I'm facing now. In fact, I would even urge you to make it a mandatory 2.5 years if I violate. I'm not saying all this because I want to get out right now. I actually think it would be in my best interest to do another month or two. I can talk to Stephanie about making sure I'll have a bed at the White House. I'm very serious about my recovery, and I believe my punishment should fit my crime. Drug court would be the best possible thing for me right now. I know it's your job to judge me for what I've done in a way that you feel would best suit our community. I think you should strongly consider what I have told you, because I am honest. I am being 100% honest, and it would be more beneficial to our community for me to go through mandatory drug treatment and maintain sobriety than to send me to prison where I'm not held accountable by anyone. Your Honor, I sincerely hope that you'll strongly consider my request. I'm not sure what probation is going to recommend, but I know it's you who makes the final decision. Please give me the chance to redeem myself. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Timothy Eaton. The reason I read that is because I think it's important for anybody new to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, come up with a plan. If you can't come up with a plan on your own, ask somebody to help you. And I want to just tell you how I gained the strength for the plan to follow through with my plan, because I've never been able to follow through with any of my plans in the past. I asked Jesus into my heart, and I fully believe that is where I gain my strength. I ask him every day to help me with the decision I made to stop using drugs and help me change my life. And I've surrounded myself with people. I only hang out with drug addicts, sometimes police officers, and probation officers, but I only hang out with people who are doing what I'm trying to do, and I surround myself with Christian brothers, and some of them are police officers. And so I think if you don't know who Jesus is, ask me about it after this. I can tell you a little bit. I just want to say how grateful I am for the program. Thank you, Judge Sibes, and I appreciate this program, and thank you for everybody who's been a part of my recovery. Thank you.
Tim just confided in me that he just really wants to hug me. I don't. We have, oh, it's on YouTube, right? We have another sanction-free recipient. So all of our drug court participants do fantastic. Of course, we put the pressure on you, but you've done very well, Tim. Again, you've been an inspiration for everyone, and you've completed the program sanction-free. There's a reward. Don't forget your pine tree on your way out.
All right.
Good job.
Sure. That's perfect, too. Thank you.
As I mentioned a couple times now, sometimes a drug court participant may go from one city to another. We inherited this person from Bullhead. I think I might have been her sentencing judge, and she was in the drug court program in Bullhead. There's some issues there. She came to the Kingman drug court program, and ever since she was in the Kingman drug court program, again, has just been perfect. This is another person that, despite other issues in life, just works hard, is very strong. She recently had shoulder surgery, so now we know who we're talking about. And despite the issues she was having with her surgery, again, her shoulder prior to surgery, tongue twister, she was having a lot of issues with pain, but she didn't relapse. She worked very hard. Even through her surgery, she came to drug court as soon as she could. She didn't miss any of her programs or her meetings or her groups. So this is a person that I'm very proud that we brought her in the Kingman drug court. I was just kind of concerned about how well she was going to do, and I was kind of skeptical, but quickly was pleasantly surprised that she was dedicated to the program, worked very hard, received many awards, many Rocket Docket awards, promotions, is now here to graduate, and I'm very proud to have Annette come on down. And you're still recovering from your surgery. I always know to shake you with this hand. So, Annette, great job. Congratulations. I'm sure you're proud that you have now completed the program. You're graduating. No cameras over. There's a camera. So we have for you your certificate of graduation, a picture of the drug court participants, which includes you, a gift card, and your drug court coin. So again, great job. We enjoyed having you in drug court. We'll miss you. And again, great progress.
Thank
job.
you. Hello. I would like to express my gratitude and reflect my thoughts on my experience in drug court. I have become a stronger individual, taking accountability for my actions and knowing there are consequences for my actions. Drug court and group counseling has helped me change my negative behaviors on drug use to positive ones, helping me to see the destructive outcome that drugs have caused on myself as an individual, on my family, and on society as a whole. Drug court has helped me change my life in a positive way, refraining from drug use and caring about who I am and not forgetting how I got here. I was no stranger to religion. I was brought up a strong Catholic, attending Catholic school, never missing church on Sundays. There was something missing. Somewhere in all this, I had a character deficit. I went on living my life according to my own will. Living this way created a problem. Seeking my own comfort and pleasure above the needs of others became the root of my problem. I grew up and I got married. My husband provided for me. I wanted for nothing. I was blessed with 3 children. I had a pretty idyllic life. At one point in my life, I experienced a tragedy involving one of my children. Although I prayed, I began to think I could somehow fix the problem. I could will things to be right again. I took it all on myself, and I did not seek out help I really needed, and unfortunately, there were few support systems available for this type of problems we were experiencing with a child that had suffered a traumatic global brain injury. I felt some guilt for somehow failing to save my daughter, but still continued to try and do so, even at the expense of my other children and my husband, who was also suffering at this time. I played a role in enabling my daughter's dysfunctional behavior, and at one point when my other children were living their lives and my husband was working and living his own life, I became lonely and dissatisfied with mine. This led to more self-seeking behavior, which led to drug abuse. I began to find myself in more problematic situations with family, the law, and finances. I was convinced that money, drugs, and other material things could and would fix my feelings of inadequacy if only I had more. Unfortunately, this kind of thinking and behavior ultimately led to losing family members and literally everything I owned. I continued to deny that I had a problem until the rug was pulled from underneath me. For a very long time, I tried to blame all of my troubles on other people, things, places, and circumstances. There was a pivotal point in my life when I was faced with the reality that my problems were of my own making. At this point, I felt hopeless. I felt there was nowhere I could turn. If I was left on my own way of thinking, I would surely perish. There came a time when I was willing to open my mind to a different point of view. And although I had a habit of praying throughout my entire life, things began to change at this point. I began reading works by Deepak Chopra, Joyce Myers, and other authors that specialize in spiritual matters. I began to realize that I no longer had a real choice. If left to my own way of thinking, I would repeat the same mistakes. Although I was thoroughly frightened by this prospect, I made a conscious decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God, regardless of the way I understood Him at that moment. I want all of you to understand, at this point in my life, it did not become easier. It became even further challenged by my life and its circumstances. Somehow, through all this, God has provided and taken care of me, through my family, through strangers I meet, and through drug court and groups and meetings. My journey has just begun. There is much more work to be done. I have harmed others in my behavior, and I must look very deeply to what I have done in my past to discover my accountability in all of this. I have made a decision at the beginning at what some might call my fall from grace to what I call my ascension to a larger reality. The decision was to no longer use drugs. I have never violated my decisions since that point. I have never tested dirty in Kingman. I have complied with all that was asked of me. This is where I have to move on to a principle that I'm still discovering. The principle is gratitude. It is not about waking up in the morning and thanking God for all that He has done for you. It's more about being happy and contented with what you currently have. If one is grateful, it must be reflected in the way one lives and not in one says. It's about not complaining about how things are, but being truly thankful and happy in your existence. It's about finding joy in the little things. Thank you. I'd like to thank the Kingman Drug Court and Judge Sipes. I truly honor you. Thank you.
So far, the Kingman Drug Court graduates have done very well in the program throughout, and many of them have received a sanction-free award. Not so much for the next graduate. The next graduate really struggled from time to time through the drug court program. This person probably received every sanction that is available. I think we had to even just be creative and just come up with things because we just ran out of sanctions for this person. This person had been under a termination contract. Like a lot of people, he just really struggled with his addiction. We sent him, like a lot of people, to an inpatient facility. I believe he's at Hillside. And I think these programs are about 28 to 30 days long. He was in the program for, I think, about 2 minutes, and he decided it wasn't for him, and he simply walked out of the program. And the next time I saw him, the touchy-feely, huggy portion of me wanted to terminate him from the drug court program, and that was my intent, was to terminate him from the drug court program, because it took a lot of time and effort to get him into this program, and we're very disappointed and upset that he left the program. My thought is, if you're not going to go to this program and complete it, there's nothing we can do for you. We're going to terminate you. You can go to prison. Good luck. However, when I told him I was going to terminate him from the program, he said, just give me a chance. Give me a chance to do this on my own, and I'll prove to you that I can. Although I was very skeptical, it was a very fair request, so I said, no problem, we'll keep the drug court program, and then I'll terminate you next week when you will have demonstrated that, again, you cannot complete this. Although he still had some issues up and down, he did very well from that point on, and he, again, like a lot of people, he caught fire, he got focused, Judge Williams has a great phrase, the moment of surrender, I think is what you say before. So he just had that moment. Although there was still a few little struggles, he completed the program successfully. So we're very proud that this person is now graduating. Stephen, come on down. Wow, Stephen, I just didn't know I was going to stand here with you to congratulate you. I'm very glad that I am. Believe me, this is much better than you going to prison.
Absolutely it is.
And it's easy for me to say, right? So anyway, here is your certificate of graduation. I know you're anxious to get this. So here's your gift card, goes Christmas shopping. Picture of you and the drug court participants, and your drug court coin, very special coin. So great job, congratulations.
All right, you guys, I just have a letter here because I tend to get nervous when I talk in front of people and I forget everything I'm saying. So I've done it before a few times. So first, I want to thank the entire drug court team for not only being patient with me, like Judge said, everyone was very patient with me and helped me through this. I have struggled a lot, but showing me ways and giving me tools I've never known existed. Not long ago, after waiting months to go to rehab, I walked out after one day. When I returned, I thought for sure I was going to be kicked out. I asked Judge Sipe to let me do this a different way. After months more of some struggles, short jail stays, something finally clicked for me, but not without the help of everyone here. I finally gained the confidence and the strength to put everything down for good. This program is one of the hardest things I've done in my life. It's also something I really didn't know if I wanted to do once I figured out what I got myself into. But I do know I would have never got cleaned up without it on my own. Even if I thought every single person, sorry about that, even if I thought I could, there wasn't a chance without every single person who has been here for me from start to finish, including my peers. Thank you guys too. Thank you as well. So for the ones just getting started in this program, the struggle is real. It's part of the program. Don't fight it, you won't win it. If I can do it, you can do it. If you slip, get back up, don't give up. Everybody here cares, and they are here to help. I promise you that. It may seem like it's not for you, but day by day, your mind will change. So once again, thank you to everyone.
Good job, Steve. As the commencement ceremony approaches, I always let the graduates know you have to give a presentation, start preparing, and most of them are very nervous because most people aren't used to talking in front of a group of people. I think all the graduates today from Bullhead and Kingman have done a very good job. Which brings us to the final graduate of the day. The Kingman Drug Court program graduated 7 people today, which is a pretty significant amount of people. It's going to be a big void that we have to fill, and I really am going to have a hard time filling this void. This is a person, again, that's done very well in the program, and I know he has a lot to say, and I don't really want to take anything away from him, but I just know that this program has just been a blessing for him, has changed his life, has turned his life around. He's, again, a person who's been inspirational to everybody in drug court, including myself. He has been a good role model for everybody. People look up to him, and he's done absolutely fantastic in the drug court program, and I'm really looking forward to his presentation here. Patrick, come on down. Can you feel the love from the audience? Good job.
I do. I feel the love.
All right, Patrick, great job, great work. This is your certificate of graduation, drug court picture. Go shopping at Walmart, and your drug court coin.
Nice.
Relax, we're looking forward to your presentation.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so last time I spoke in front of a crowd was, I think I was like 6 years old. And I embarrassed myself by thanking God for my mother's car. So here we go again, and I'm probably going to embarrass myself again because I am way, way passionate about drug court. I'm going to tell you right now, they didn't just help me, they saved my life. I'm 58 years old. I started smoking pot when I was 15. Started doing hard drugs, methamphetamines, when I was 17. And the only times I ever had a break from it was when I went to prison, 5 times. The problem with, I'm not saying that it doesn't work for a lot of people, because I'm sure it does. Prison can help people, but it wasn't the answer for me. Being locked up, key thrown away, get back out, it was just days, and I was right back to the same, I almost said the F-bomb, or whatever, the S-bomb, right back to the same crap. When I was 17 years old, it took somebody to show me how to use drugs. But in all these years, and I'm not blaming nobody but myself, because it was basically ultimately on me, you know. I understand that, but nobody ever took the time to show me how not to use drugs. Drug court has. Judge Sipe, there's no words for how I feel about Judge Sipe. I love him. He saved my life, and that's how I feel about it. Probation, very grateful to probation. Again, this was on me. I always felt like they were just there because I refused to go with the program, because I've always been a rebellious individual. I'm sure a lot of these people here know who I am, and know that I've had a pretty traumatic life. But again, on myself, that was just me, because I've always had a problem with authority. But then, I feel bad for my older kids, because I have 4 kids. My youngest, I asked for drug court. I wrote letters against my lawyer's wishes and to the DA, and asked them and begged them for drug court, because I have a 6-year-old daughter that needs her daddy. So basically, I asked for drug court because of my daughter, and I can't really actually tell you when it happened, but somewhere along the line, it stopped being just for my daughter and for myself too. And my whole life, I did not know. I spent 40 years on drugs. 40 years. 40 years I used drugs. 40. My life is pretty much a big blur. I'm sorry for that to my son. He's been an excellent role model for me. I could not be more proud when I see my son. My heart open. Every time I get tears in my eyes, because he's an inspiration. And it should have been the other way around, but yeah, it wasn't. I continued to use drugs my whole life, and again, if somebody would have, and when I did get drug court, it was like they pushed me in the right direction, and I hit the ground running. And I did not know life could be this good. My whole life has turned around, everything. It's like I got clean, and God opened the floodgates, and it's just been blessing after blessing after blessing after blessing. I know you're not ever supposed to say never, but I think I'm high on being clean, is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, you're never supposed to say never, but I'm never going back. There's nothing in this world that drive me back to using drugs ever, because life is so awesome now. There's no words for how I feel about my life. I know it's a little late in life to get started on it, but you know what? If I was to die tomorrow, I would still thank God for the short time I had clean, because I did not know life could be this good. And I just want to thank everybody, all you people. You guys saved my life. I had health issues, my pancreas, my liver. when I got clean, I started going to the doctor, which is something I never really did in my lifetime. I mean, we're talking 40 years of hiding, running and hiding is what I did. And from my problems, drug court has taught me how when I see a problem arising, I don't run for it no more, I run at it. And I mean, just blessing after blessing. I went 14 years without a driver's license. I've got that back. And of course, that alone opened the doors for many, many things. I work for Cross Wholesale Tires. I load airplane tires. We're talking airplane tires weigh like, some of them like 300 pounds. So it's hard work, but it's what's kept me alive. You understand? And back to the health thing though. Since I got clean, doctor told me that my pancreas is healed, my liver's healed. I got the heartbeat of a 15-year-old and plan on being around for another 20 or 30 years. So I got all of that to thank to you, Judge Sape. You're a blessing, you're a great man. I got your back no matter what. Anything I can ever do for you, all I can say is just ask, and I would bend over backwards to do that. You're a good man, I'd take a bullet for you, know that. And so there you have it. That's basically my life's wrapped up in a short order, and I'm very, very grateful to probation. Like I said, you know, I've always thought that probation that was there just to hem me up and throw me back in prison or throw me in jail, and believe me, I've been to jail and prison. I can't even tell you how many times. So again, there is no words how I feel about, there's no words how I feel about drug court. You guys saved my life. I'm very, very, very grateful for that. I'm very, very, very grateful for being clean. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you very much.
I want another hug.
Please don't turn me into a huggy person.
You're a huggy person, buddy. Every time I see her, I'm hugging you. I don't care where it's at.
Patrick also graduated sanction-free from the drug court program.
Yeah. Hit the ground running.
And he always told me that this was his goal, that when he started drug court,
absolutely,
he said, I'm going to graduate sanction-free. He put the work in, he put the dedication in, and here's your sanction-free award. Great job, Patrick.
Thank you
very much.
You're a good man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you all.
Although we have graduated 7 people from the Kingman Drug Court team, or from the drug court, don't be strangers. Come by when you want. You know where we're going to be at every Friday from 10 to noon. So come by and see us. We certainly would appreciate to see you in the future. And once again, I really applaud everybody who graduated today. I applaud everyone who received a phase promotion today. I know the work you've put in, the dedication you put in, and it's been well deserved. I thank all the law enforcement officers from being here. Officer Espinosa, hopefully you really enjoyed coming here and seeing somebody you arrested graduate from this program, and the change in their life. That has to be something very enjoyable for you as well. So again, I thank everybody for being here. All the graduates, after we're done here in about 30 seconds, please come up, and we want to take a group picture of all the graduates from Bullhead and Kingman. Don't forget your pine tree. Go home, nurture it, grow it. And after we're done here, go upstairs in the mezzanine for a reception. There's cake, and the cake is fantastic, and there's punch. Again, I thank everybody for being here, and congratulations to all of you graduates and recipients of promotions. Thank you.